When we think of a solo road trip, most envision adventure, freedom, and self-discovery. But for 21-year-old Maura Murray, what was supposed to be a brief escape into the snowy hills of New Hampshire became one of the most enduring mysteries in modern American history. A young nursing student, a crash on a remote road, and a disappearance that left no footprints, only questions. The world watched, speculated, and debated, but decades later the truth remains elusive. This is the haunting story of Maura Murray, a disappearance that continues to baffle investigators, internet sleuths, and anyone who hears it. Maura Murray was bright, independent, and determined. Born in 1982 in Hanson, Massachusetts, she excelled academically and athletically. She later enrolled in the University of Massachusetts Amherst, pursuing a degree in nursing. Her family described her as a loving, quirky, and intelligent young woman, someone full of life and ambition. But behind the smiles, Maura had a complicated private world. Friends noted she could be secretive, and she often navigated stress with careful planning and small, controlled escapes from her life. By February 2004, Maura's world was a mix of school stress, family expectations, and personal curiosity. Some friends noticed she had been checking out her surroundings more than usual, spending time researching places she wanted to visit, perhaps imagining a life beyond her familiar world. On February 9, 2004, Maura sent an email to her professors. She claimed a family member had passed away and that she would need a week off. There was just one problem. This was false. No one in her family had died. Later that day, she packed her dorm room with unusual care. Some artwork was taken down, boxes were packed neatly in her car, and she even removed items from her walls. It appeared as if she was preparing for an extended trip, or perhaps a permanent departure. Maura's family reported she had also called her boyfriend that day. While the conversation seemed ordinary, she sounded reflective and quiet, a tone her family found unusual. She gave no indication of danger, yet the actions she took, packing, removing personal items, and preparing maps, suggested a deliberate plan. Around 7 p.m., Maura Murray left Amherst and began driving north on Route 112, a remote, winding road in New Hampshire known for its snow, forests, and isolation. Just minutes later, her black Saturn sedan slid off the road and became stuck in a snowbank. The car was slightly damaged, enough to require attention but not catastrophic. A local resident driving nearby saw Maura outside her car. She told him she had already called AAA for help, a statement later proven false. Moments after, a police officer arrived on the scene, but when he checked, Maura was gone. The car remained, with the doors locked and her belongings inside. An open box of wine had spilled across the front seat. Maps, carefully folded, indicated she had been researching Burlington, Vermont, and Bartlett, New Hampshire. Her disappearance appeared sudden and inexplicable. Search teams were deployed immediately. Helicopters combed the area. K-9 units tracked the snow-covered forest. Volunteers scoured every trail, clearing snow as they went. But there was no trace of Maura. No footprints leading from the car. No signs of a struggle. No witnesses who saw anyone else on the road at the time. It was as if Maura had vanished into thin air. Inside her car, police discovered several cryptic clues. A MapQuest printout directing to Burlington, Vermont. A second set of directions to a condo complex in Bartlett, New Hampshire, a location Maura had visited with her family in the past. An empty bottle of alcohol, suggesting she had been drinking. A book on mountain climbing in the White Mountains, hinting at her fascination with the area. These clues painted a picture of a young woman who had a plan, but the plan remained hidden from investigators. As days turned into weeks, the case captured the attention of local media and, eventually, the entire country. Family members appeared on television pleading for information. The internet, though still emerging as a true crime hub, became a forum for theories, speculation, and amateur investigation. Theories were endless. 1. She ran away intentionally. Some suggested Maura, overwhelmed by school, family, or personal struggles, staged her disappearance to start a new life. 2. She met foul play. Others suspected she was abducted by someone who had been following her or happened upon her after the crash. 3. She succumbed to the elements. Perhaps she wandered into the snowy forest and died of exposure, though no remains were ever found. Despite years of searching, no concrete evidence emerged to support any of these ideas. Some elements of Maura's disappearance added to the eerie nature of the case. Her car's position, it was stuck in a shallow snowbank. She could have walked to a nearby road and called for help. Why didn't she? No footprints. The snow around the vehicle was disturbed minimally. Investigators were puzzled how a grown woman could disappear without leaving tracks. Research and planning. Maps and documents suggest she had a precise idea of where she wanted to go. Was she running towards something or away from something? Past incidents. Maura had previously crashed her father's car. She also had been caught using a stolen credit card. Could these small signs indicate a larger plan or state of mind? Over the years, internet sleuths and true crime enthusiasts have revisited the case tirelessly. Some speculate she was picked up by someone she trusted, a hitchhiker, a passing driver, or even someone who knew her plan in advance. Over the years, internet sleuths and true crime enthusiasts have revisited the case tirelessly. Some speculate she was picked up by someone she trusted, a hitchhiker, a passing driver, or even someone who knew her plan in advance. Others believe she deliberately disappeared, perhaps even changing her identity. Some point to her organized packing and maps as evidence she had intended to leave Amherst behind. And then there's the freak accident theory, that she wandered into the wilderness, fell into a ravine, or succumbed to hypothermia. While plausible, no body has ever been recovered to confirm this. The mystery only deepens with each passing year. Maura Murray's story has been featured in documentaries, podcasts, books, and endless online forums. Her disappearance remains unsolved, a modern American mystery that continues to captivate the public. Maura's family has never given up hope that they will find answers. Her parents describe her as someone who had dreams, ambition, and a bright personality. They do not believe foul play is impossible, but they emphasize that Maura was cautious and intelligent. And her disappearance cannot be explained by simple accident alone. The family has cooperated with law enforcement, participated in searches, and allowed media coverage to keep the story alive. Their hope is simple: clarity, justice, and closure. Maura's disappearance has left a mark on true crime culture. She is a symbol of mystery, a cautionary tale about the dangers of isolation, and a case study in the limits of human understanding. Her story has inspired countless discussions online about how one person can vanish without a trace in the modern world. Every detail, from the emails, the packing, the maps, the car crash, feeds a narrative that seems part mystery, part tragedy. The snow-covered forests of New Hampshire, once quiet and serene, became the stage for a story that would endure for decades. Maura Murray went to New Hampshire seeking freedom, adventure, and perhaps clarity. Instead, she became one of the most famous missing persons in American history. A young woman whose life ended in uncertainty, whose footprints disappeared in the snow, and whose story continues to haunt everyone who hears it. A nursing student? A car crash? A disappearance with no explanation. The mystery of Maura Murray endures because sometimes the world refuses to give us answers. This has been Deadly Destinations, a reminder that some roads, no matter how familiar they seem, lead to destinations we may never understand.